I'm Safa1. Welcome to my channel. I make various types of electronic music. When I first started making music in around 2006-7, I was actually just like making mostly just like beats, like hip hop beats. And I eventually started to, after a few years, like after high school, I graduated and I started making like house techno kind of stuff. But throughout high school, I was experimenting with electro music, I guess, like electro house kind of stuff. And then eventually I made the switch to just focus on like tech house, deep house, and stuff like that. In those times, I was just using my real name, Tamer Akgül, and I ended up using a different name, Truly Yours, which that was my alias for quite a few years, and I was releasing music through that name on various labels, and it was going pretty well, I think. Eventually what happened was because I was sampling a lot back in those days, and I don't have anything against sampling, but I don't really like the concept of having to clear a sample and then use it like for it within your song, and like clearing it would take, just in my opinion, for me, it would take too long to do that. And not saying that it would be like very difficult or anything, but I just thought like maybe it would be easier to just like make original music or sample myself through making original music. And that's why I ended up leaving the Truly Yours name and started another alias, which was, I don't know if some of my friends think it was a mistake, but now it's just like, it's been since 2021 I started it, I think, so it's been a few years already. Safa1. And the reason I chose this name is because my middle name is actually Safa, and I put a 1 at the end because there was no other, the name Safa was already taken on all major platforms. And yeah, I ended up using Safa1. Kind of the reason I put 1 at the end was because it's kind of influenced from the hip hop graffiti scene. I can't remember exactly why, but there is certain reasons why. When I was writing graffiti, basically I would use the name Sense1, Sensone, or just simply 1, like the number. Yeah, so Safa1 came to, like, I created it in around 2021, and my first initial idea concept for this alias was to make music, again, completely originally, and focus on the feelings of making something sound dancey or sound like happier, I guess, or sexier. But the funny thing is, like, as an artist, because when I was releasing music under Truly Yours, I would usually just keep a very dark sounding. I would make very dark sounding music, and that's why I think I kind of like took a step away from that dark side of music. But like, I think it's always there anyways, no matter what, because like when you're creating, sometimes it just comes out like that, whether it's like an ambient experimental type of music or not. It's just like making music without having to filter yourself too much is like I think that's like the main issue, or like main thing that I had to get over, was making music true to myself. Actually, that's why I had the name Truly Yours, because it was staying true to myself. Yet when I came into making Safa1, I think it's even like taking kind of like a step back to take a step forward, because when I was making music in like my high school years, I was making a lot of hip hop beats, and I kind of missed that, like digging in the crates, finding a sample, and then using a sample. But making the decision to just sample myself, I feel is very interesting, because it got me to be more creative in the sense where I had to make everything from scratch. So I had to learn a little bit more music theory, a little bit more how songs could be arranged and how they can be sampled. And it's all possible, and it's all like, there's people that do sample packs and everything for this type of industry for producers to use. And I think that's awesome that that first of all, there's an industry for that, and that people would do that. So basically, I know I'm kind of like going off topic and all around the place, but I'm kind of just explaining how and why I chose to make Safa1. So in a lot of ways, it feels like I came full circle, because of the like, I used to make hip hop beats, and now Safa1, I originally started making, it's like I left Truly Yours, came into Safa1, and I just wanted to make like happier sounding music, but which I have been. I think it's like a lot of the music I've been making has been pretty happy, but it's still nice to make a mix of what you're feeling. So because music is, I think, mostly intertwined, like it's tied into making you feel a certain type of way. So emotional based. So the music that I made has been pretty uplifting, I would say, but like I remember even like when I was making music under Truly Yours, it would be like sad but uplifting kind of stuff, which is really interesting. That's what other people have said, and then some people have said it's just very dark and moody. I think that's kind of inescapable for me to make a sound that is strictly happy or strictly sad. So I think I accept the fact that I will continue to make music that sounds very both like happy or sad. So yeah, like Safa1, I'm gonna still continue to make ambient and experimental type of music too. I know that it's kind of alienating for people that listen to my type of music, but I feel like since I'm doing it all on my own, like without all on my own in the sense where like I just have my friends, family, girlfriend listen to it and they like it or not, but it's just who I am as like a musician. And I'm not releasing under any labels still. I think that it's nice to have the freedom to just release as soon as you want, whenever you want, as much as you want. And all the music is original, and I get a chance to make the sounds that I want to create in my head or what I feel. And I actually feel like it's been like a full circle, because I started making hip hop kind of like trap, rap, boom bap kind of styles a little bit more, and rapping, of course. I wouldn't consider myself to be a rapper per se, because I'm not really like very lyrically inclined to write super meaningful raps or something that makes sense all the time. But I think it's a good challenge for me, especially, to be able to write lyrics and then record vocals and mix those within a song to make a complete song. It's like I think that was like the missing link to my creativity, was like, can I make a full, quote unquote, full song with vocals, because like I would always be kind of like against that. I would be like, I'd rather just make music, and it doesn't have to have any vocals or lyrics in it. It could just be strictly emotion based and just the music itself. So, and I think that's a very interesting discussion. I think a lot of the world, in my opinion, prefer to listen to music that has vocals and lyrics in it, because they have something to relate to more. Whereas, like, I'm not saying that there isn't listeners in like ambient or just strictly like music based, like without any vocals. There is definitely a huge number of people listening just to that kind of music as well, or a mix. But I think it's nice to have the ability to just make music without any restrictions. I think that's one of the main reasons I kind of started Safa1. It was kind of like taking a step back to take a step forward, like taking a step back in the sense where it's like I'm making music for myself again. Of course, I do have listeners in mind sometimes, but most of the time, the reason why I make a certain type of sound or style is to challenge myself to make something different and keep it like kind of the same. One of my good friends, he told me that whenever he hears my music, he can tell right away that it's me. So like it almost doesn't really matter what genre I make, it just sounds like me. And I think a lot of this has to do with when you're an artist and you're making stuff, it's just you're creating from a place that is authentic to you. And when you're creating your sound that's like distinctively yours, other people can notice and they can say, oh yeah, that's like the same bass line he always uses, or something about like the bass frequencies, I think, or that's just an example. But I find that very interesting, and it's really nice. It's refreshing to hear that, like, even after all this time that I've made music and switching aliases and stuff like that, Truly Yours and Safa1, etc., it feels like I'm still me, of course, but I'm able to portray myself maybe in a different way, even just like having happier sounding music and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to really say. I did make a loop pack and loop kit. I guess it's like ambient loops, but there's still some like melodic elements to it. And these loop packs that I'm trying to create basically are a way for me to basically get better at music theory and like composition of how the music is composed, basically, using different sounds. It forces me to hyper focus on just the melodic elements, and then later on, if I'm going to add drums and stuff like that. So it kind of challenges me to make music in a different way, where it's like I'm separating the melody from the drum, and then I can bring it all in together. Of course, I'm not going to always just do that. Sometimes I sit down and make a full track right there, but and I'm also not restricting myself to just use one type of machine or one type of like software, but like my main software that I use that I'm most comfortable is obviously FL Studio. I really enjoy using the Deluge. I think I'm really good at using the Deluge, and I got an Akai MPC 1 Plus, and I'm still learning it, but it's very enjoyable to use that as well. It's because it's a different workflow, but I've also been using the Koala app sometimes. It's got its restrictions, but it's fun anyways. I think that's like the main thing about like making music as like like trying to not focus too much on the equipment that you're using, but just focusing on what you're doing as opposed to just the equipment. I hope everyone is having a good week, and see you in the next one.